Hello folks, welcome back to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. Check out these puppies. They're getting so big. They actually enjoy their food more than their mom now. They're getting so big. All right. But we're not here to talk about puppies. We're here to talk about 3D printers. Puppies will be in a whole nother video, most likely. Because I got to build a dog run outside. That's going to be tremendous. 821 hours on this one. 529 hours on that one. So what's that? 1,350 hours exactly is what I've got on these two printers combined. The P2S from Bambu Labs and the H2C from Bambu Labs. Now what I want to share with you folks today is some 3D printing stuff that people don't tell you about, but there's plenty of people out there that have told you about it, but I want you to hear it from me. You will have print failures. I've talked about this before, but you can also have so much print success as well. Now, I had a major print failure last night, and I'll show you what it was. This is supposed to be a four-legged table, and I was actually just using up ends of filaments. You know, I had one color left and I wasn't going to do anything with it. This is all ABS, and I had it standing up like this for printing, and it prints off these little trees for support, and had some support back here because it had a lip on it as well. And yes, the trees have the same color combinations, as it were. Well, in the middle of the night, I woke up because this was a 21-hour print, 22 hours actually, print to get this done, because I did it with a 0.4 nozzle. And we're going to get into the different nozzle tip sizes and what you can use them for and how they can be used. And then it's up to you to figure out how you want to do it. This thing is really strong. But this was with a 0.4 nozzle. And it was 22 hours, and I'll just kind of give you a comparison here in just a second. And it's had ironing on it, so I could try to make things as smooth as possible. There's an ironing feature in the bamboo slicer, and it failed on me. So failures will happen. Yes, I lost all this filament, and it's just, you know, don't be afraid to have failures. You're going to learn from them. Did I learn from that one? I learned that, I'm not sure what I learned for that particular failure, other than if you got those trees and you got it sliced and you got those trees going up like that, stuff could happen, because it was actually going to print this leg up here in space. And the legs were going to be, the support trees were going to be the only support. Now, I've done it one other time and it worked just fine. So it's one of those things, may not work every time. Okay. And right now, just to give you an idea, a comparison, this is another table that I took the angle off the bottom, because I made a laptop holder for work for myself. And this one, I want another tabletop just to hold a laminator off my work surface. And just to give you an idea, this one only had a slice time or about 8 hours. It's got about 2 hours left. So it's almost not quite a third of the time, but that's a 0.8 nozzle diameter versus a 0.4. So it theoretically would cut the time literally in half. This is probably less than half now, because, well, it's way less than half, but it's just because it's not having to print those trees along with it. Now I did do a with the lip. I don't have it here, but with the lip that was hanging down here, so when it sat like this, that the laptop could have something to rest against. On the one I have at work right now, I did it laying like this, just like it's in there, but it had to print support from under all this underneath here, which took 200 more grams of filament to do that. And the surface was kind of real steppy with the 0.8. It'd still be somewhat steppy with a 0.4. When I say steppy, it's just like, it's not going to be crazy smooth. So you can play around with your orientations on how you do things. Anyway, You're probably asking, well, how'd you do that multicolor thing like that with, well, it's, unless the STL file is broken up into different colors, there's only one other way I can do it. And that would be, I'd run a filament spool in here until it ran out, because I had just a little bit. It doesn't even have to run out. I'm going to tell you that right now. And there again, it's not going to be an exact science, but you can go in here. Like I could go in here right now, and I'm running this yellow in here right now. I could nip that yellow right there, let it feed on down through, and once it got, you know, past this a little ways, I can set the next color in this same slot, feed it in a little bit, and it'll pick that one up and go. And if it doesn't pick it up and go, your thing will say, hey, we ran out of filament. Then you just got to feed it in a little further, and then it'll go, and it'll just stitch it right on top of each other. And it'll create layers like this. This was, there again, I was using up, I ran out of filament for this. I had, so this is ASA, believe it or not. This is ABS GF, and this is regular ABS. All together, tight, firm. 3 different types of material connected together. Now, the only way you can do that is if you have the same temperature settings. Basically, all of this is printed at 270 degrees C nozzle temp, 110 bed temp. Nozzle temp is more important than bed temp, because once you have this on the bed, that's locked in. It's what happens up above that that counts next. So I couldn't run this and then a PLA and then this, you know, ASA. It's got to be the same temperatures. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. There's probably other experts out there that know more than me. But what did I print here? We're going to turn you around right here and look. These are a whole bunch of, these are, look like cups, but they're caps. I'm going to go show you where these caps are used. We got ourselves a beautiful Sunday morning going on here. The frost is just getting off the grass out here. Had an overnight low of about 28, something like that. So they had frost on the ground, and now it's thawing out. It's supposed to be a high of 65 today. So it's been feels like a long winter here in Iowa, and glad to get on the other side of it. Those of you that know my channel know I covered all my boats with shrink wrap last fall. That all worked extremely well. I highly recommend shrink wrap. If you want to see that video, you have to go over to Michael in the Backyard, or Michael's Backyard Marina channel. It's the very latest video that's been out there for about 90 days since I posted it. Oh, we got frost in the ground here where it heaved up a little bit. All right. So what are these for? That's what we're out here for, right? Well, check this out. This is a mortar launcher. When we do fireworks, I got mortars we drop in here, and I've got it on a wagon wheel and all that kind of fun stuff. And you could hold a torch here while it goes round and boom, 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 and light those fuses off. Well, I had solo cups on here. Some fell off. They hold moisture. There's a problem here. I need to wire wheel these off. But these caps are for this. The wind won't catch that and blow it off like it does a thin weight solo cup. Like that solo cup's got a crack in it. See, all these have cracks in them, and that's how the moisture's gotten in. I've got several of them that sit out here. There's water in the bottom, but this is almost 1/4-inch wall pipe, folks. But yeah, that's the intent behind these mortar caps right here. I want to take a wire wheel, clean all this up, and then clean out the inside, spray it down with something that keeps things from rusting, some kind of rust preventative. And then that cap can just sit there. And being this is ASA, it's going to be very UV resistant. It's going to be tolerant to heat and weather. And I printed 21 of them. Now what you see over here is my attempt to print. I thought I had it figured out, and I printed 4 of them of the same ASA. I printed a test one first. It failed on me. This is out of just PLA. And that didn't work. They're just a little too tight. But they don't need to be crazy tight. They just need to be able to drop on there and keep the rain out and keep the moisture out. I'll probably spray paint this thing, but yeah, I just pick it up with my forks on my tractor, and I set it up there on the hill, and we can launch off mortars. 21. Now, did I plan it out to be 21 gun, like 21 gun salute? No. I just segmented all this angle iron and laid it out on my floor of my shop and welded them together. Then I welded these base tubes on, and we're going to clean it up and paint it up, and just use an old spoke wheel, wagon wheel, and a hub and a stand, and it's just all, it's heavy duty. All right, just wanted to show you that's one of the useful things. Where'd it go? One of the useful things that I printed. Now, some of you could be saying, Michael, you just should have got a PVC, piece of PVC pipe and a cap and done 21 of those. And that's like, I could have. This cost me about $20 in printer filament. Plus I got to draw something, design it, draw it, and test it, make adjustments, print it again. I learned something. So, you know, it might have been, shorten this base up here a little bit. Ugh. It might have been maybe the same cost, but I wouldn't have learned a lot. I learned something here because I got to draw something in Fusion 360. And I got to test print it, adjust it, print it again. I also got to play around with those color layers just to see. In my mind, I thought, would it work? Could it work? And it did work. I tried it one other time, and that was successful. I'm like, let's try it on a bigger scale. I was printing 9 of these at a time on my table. So it worked out really well. And any extras I got, make nice little pencil holders or pen holders or marker holders. All right, let's get back in the basement and talk about some more cool stuff. How are you puppies doing? Yeah, you excited? You excited to see me? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Bunch of sweeties they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Come here, Maverick. Come here, Maverick. Where's Jake? Come here, Jake. Yeah, there they are. All right. All 9 puppies. Woohoo! They're doing well. As of tomorrow, they'll be 6 weeks old. 2 more weeks, and several of them are going to their new forever home. We're not a puppy farm by any means. We just are continuing the lineage if you've been following the channel. So, what else have I done here? Now, I've printed an object that I introduced in one of my other videos. I'll call this a sploid. Yes, it's a made-up word. I made it up. Maybe it does exist, but it just sounded kind of cool. What is it? It's just a test piece. That's all it is. I printed several of them. About, I don't know, 20 in total. But I did a cutaway version so you can see what it looks like inside. And I did the whole thing. And why did I do this? Well, several reasons. These bamboos offer a 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, and 0.8 nozzle diameters, which perform and do things at different rates. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to show you the different quality and what you can expect out of the different nozzles. I'm hoping this camera will pick up things close for me. Get you guys in here as close as I can get you. Now what you're seeing here, and I'm gonna get each one of them close and roll it around for you. This is a point. These three are all the same color, even though they look slightly different on camera. Obviously, this one's a different color. Well, just to give you an example, this is a 0.4 right here. And you can see inside how it looks. And it's hollow for a reason because I'm doing another experiment with the hollow big ones that I've got. So this was 0.2. I wrote it down. This is ABS. This is a 0.2 with all the standard settings for a 0.2. No smoothing, no anything. So as you can see here, this has a lot smoother surface. All right, to give you the difference in time it takes, so 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. So this took 5 hours and 58 minutes, almost 6 hours to print that little guy. This, by going to a 0.2, this is what's crazy. The 0.2 took an hour and, or 0.4 took an hour and 12 minutes. And for some reason, the 0.6 took an hour and 38 minutes. These are just estimated times off of the slicer. And this took an hour and 1 minute for a 0.8. But you can easily see the fineness of the layer heights and how much difference there is between, there again, this is 0.4. .6 and 0.8. It's kind of hard to see on 0.8, but it's the coarsest. You can definitely see a lot of layer heights here. You can actually see a lot of definition down the side. You start looking at the cutaways of the 0.2. It's really clean on the inside because the layers are so small, and it's not too bad on the 0.8. Now, some of you might be asking, why would you use different nozzle sizes, right? Because it looks like 0.4 does pretty good, and for the time it takes to print it, compared to the 0.8, you know, it doesn't look as nice and clean. But what if you go from something this size to this size? And now this is a 0.6, which looks pretty good overall. And there again, pick your poison. Which would you like to have? How fast do you want to print it? How critical is the outside finish? As we saw in the cups, you saw what I'm going to use them for. The outside finish isn't that critical, so maybe we go with time versus pretty. And these here, I printed bigger versions of this because, and they're hollow inside. I didn't do a cutaway, but they're hollow like this. It's just scaled up 200%. And what this is going to do for me, 200 or 300, I think it's 200%. I'm going to test these outside. I've got ASA, ABS, ABSGF, and PLA printed out, all the same size, different colors and stuff. I'm going to experiment how long this stuff holds up outside for like 6 months. How much of it can absorb water, how many of them can absorb water buried in a bucket of water, and stuff like that. So I did all these in 0.6 in the essence of that was nice enough for a finish and for what the experiment is going to be. So anyway, I'm just saying there's lots of different variations to the process. Now, when I did the 2, 4, 6, 8, I took standard, the standard bamboo slice settings for standard finish. And when you got a 0.8 nozzle, it's got a 0.4 layer height. When you got a 0.4 layer nozzle, it's got a 0.2 layer height. You got a 0.2, it's got a 0.1. It's half, right? And that all tells you how many layers you're going to get and how long it's going to take. Okay. We've covered a little bit of ground there. Just wanted to share those opportunities and nozzles are out there. And the nice thing is Bambu offers all this on their website. They're, again, not a sponsored video. I purchased everything you see here with my own money. And I need you guys to give me a thumbs up and like so we can make some money back. I really do. Now, what I'm getting to show you is personal preference choice. If you want to do something like this or not, the 3D printing world obviously offers a lot of variety of things you can print. Me, I'm into useful stuff. I want to print things I can use. We've been printing, you know, replacement filament spools ourselves because we weren't able to buy them from Bambu. They were out of stock and we needed some, so we did that. There again, somebody did drop in the comments that Hobby Lobby has them for like $3.79 for one of those filament reels for empties. But I went there on site, not in stock either. So still the best option for us was to print a few. The one I'm printing in here right now takes about, I think it was 2 hours and 38 minutes for each half. You know, we're doing, print them off PLA, ABS, ABSGF, ASA. If you're going to use the high heat chamber, like this, you definitely want to use some ASA or ABS because it can take the higher temperatures. Otherwise, you buy some of these you buy from Bambu. I don't know if this was one of them. Hey, this is one of mine. The boss stole. This is ABS GF one here. As far as what was on it originally. But they have their high temperature spools, and they have their not so high temperature spools that they sell. Like this one here is temperature resistance. It shows here that we got from Bambu, 70C. And I think there's another one. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, 70C versus temperature resistant to 90C. Well, as you know, ABS and ASA, we print those at 270C. So I'm pretty sure that they would withstand the temperatures for high temperature stuff. And that's only needed if you're doing the high temperature, the AMS HT, which is high temperature heated chamber. Okay, what are we looking at here? I've got some other pieces, parts and pieces we've been printing. My sister-in-law found, and I'll leave a link in the description below for this WH, and I'll leave a link in it. It's got the whole book on, she paid, I think, $42 for all the STL files for this particular project. Let's take a look at it. So what this is, it's designed to be a computer desk addition, an enhancement to your computer desk, right? So what it is, it's got these 7/8 style rods here. These are separate pieces. All this is a piece, 6 dowel rods. This particular STL file comes with all the files that do one this tall. This is like 5.5, 4.5, 3.5 tall, depending on what you want to do. And it's got these covers that pop on. So we can pop it off here. So you print these covers as well. So you can turn this into a smooth shelf just by snapping it on. Well, we've been printing on this for a while. This isn't what I would call a cost-effective project. Nope. Because now what it's going to do for you is it's going to give you some more desk space, and you can have this 90-degree piece here that goes down here, which we have. You can print these little drawers. They're actually pretty, it's, you know, overall, it's not a bad project. The guy designed it, that designed this, did a really good job. This is all printed out of PLA. And it has, where'd they go? It has these little pieces here that you'll end up gluing on top, like this. And then those will actually go underneath here and mount up like this with a couple of clips that slide in place to hang it there. So we're going to get busy kind of putting this thing together. Now, this has taken about 4 spools of filament. And the filament costs aren't inexpensive. I got a print failing already over here. Print failures will happen, especially when you make a mistake. See this lifting up over here on the corner? I just had to interrupt this for a special message. Stop task. Doggone it. What happened is I didn't set the bed temperature. That's going to lift right off there. It's hardly stuck. I didn't set the bed temperature at 110C. I had it at 90C. And if you guys have been following my channel for a minute or two, I'm going to do print again. Next. Print. Now, this has already been programmed, and it's going to default to 90C again. And it's going to take off and go. It's already going to be pretty close to being heated up. It's going to do its purge thing. But I'm going to show you what you can do. This is going to come back up to 90 right here. And that's where it's going to stay. But you can go in here and punch right there and go, I want this to be 110, confirm. And it'll change that back to orange, and it's going to climb up to 110 where it should have been. I'm going to jump in here and spray this down real quick. Just to make sure there's no oils or anything on it. Now it's going to do 110C for the bed temp. As you can see here, this particular print is 110 as well. It's not lifting, curling. 90 does not work on these Bambu Labs. That textured plate holds like iron, but you got to have the temperature right. The default temperatures, and I can't say this enough, the default temperatures that the slicer has does not work with that textured plate. 90, it defaults for ABS, ASA, the slicer defaults to 90. Run it at 110. 110 glues it down. Even on a giant print like this, it has a lot of shrink and potential to curl. It's locked down like iron. That one, I missed it when I set it up on the slicer. I forgot to change that to 110. It was defaulted to 90, and there again, I had a failure. My fault. All right, back to the show. All right, before we were rudely interrupted by the failed print, I forgot to change the bed temp. The boss is down here. I forgot to change the bed temperature to 110. She curled on me. Yeah, I'm doing the ABS on yours. So, although when I saw that, I'm like, I saw it curling from over here, and I'm like, that's not good. I went and looked at it, and it was 90. Every time you do a big print like that, 90 is going to fail. So, all right, back to this modular, not really worth it desk situation. Okay, this is taking at least 4 rolls of filament, PLA filament, to do it, because we did have a couple of print failures, and I'll show you what those look like. And about 50 hours of print time, I would guess, in total, because each one of these pieces like this is about 2.5 to 3 hours. And that's going normal standard speed, not fast or ludicrous or anything like that. And, you know, you got a lot of pieces here you're printing. You got a drawer, a drawer, a drawer, a box for the drawers. And I like these. I have a feeling I'm going to be printing some of these things because these are kind of handy. I can find uses for those for sure. But then you got to buy the dowel rods. So you're going to have, you know, between buying, I think it was like $42 for the STL files. You probably got, I bought this filament for $12.99 a roll because I buy 10 rolls of stuff at a time from Bambu Labs. So, you know, 4 times that. And then the hours that it takes to print. You will be printing for hours upon hours. Because we printed all this on the P2S, for instance, and you get one of these at a time. One of everything at a time. And most of this stuff would be almost one at a time in the H2C as well. So this stuff here I printed, when you printed these, you could print, these snap on good. When you print these, you print 2 at a time. And you want to make sure you put a raft underneath these. Otherwise, they won't be stable enough and it could break off while it's printing. There again, on PLA, I run 65C bed temperature, not the default 55. 55 has failed several times. It will let things lift and curl, like we saw on that yellow piece, on the ABS yellow piece. Same thing will happen on PLA. 65C has been my magic spot for that. So, this here is a laptop holder. The print this, the piece underneath. And there's a little tool here that you print that has little screws that you print these screws to hold it all together. And once this thing is on here, for instance, let's see here if I can get it back in the right spot. You can glue this to, this slides back and forth on these rails, but this has a ratcheting effect. So it holds it in place. So if you want to have your laptop over here to the side and face you, 45-degree angle, you can do that. So, you know, the guy that designed this did a really good job. I'm not complaining about the design at all. It's just not what I would call cost effective. This is a little piece here. Now I think my sister-in-law is going to want hers over here. So what we'll do is we'll epoxy this down on the corner piece here. All depends on how she wants to lay her desk out. We may just let her glue some of this stuff down. Now what I'm going to be doing here on this part of the assembly is we had a failure over here. I'm going to show you that real quick. As you can see, that didn't print very well right there. And over here for some reason. This all looks pretty good. This one did a little bit here and here. Failure. And then this last one we did last night is like, it's got a little bit of that in the corner, but I'm calling that good enough. It just, I'm not sure what I need to do. I did some ironing on this. When I say ironing, that's something you do in the slicer. And it just didn't play well. So I've got me some JB Weld 5-minute quick setting epoxy. So what I'm going to do now on this project is we're going to take this apart, because one of the other failures that I had is I printed this one. This is a right-hand side. It would normally be over here versus over here, because these slots that are in here would be pointed to the back, so you have a smooth facing front. This is to be able to slide some shelves in if you wanted to slide shelves in and stuff like that. So anyway, this one failed. This piece here failed that slides on here. But we just use it to kind of get an assembly going. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but see how much that curled? That's because the bed temperature wasn't quite right. And this, you know, it just turned out not well. So that's scrap. And so I'll replace that piece. This piece is fine. We're going to replace that piece. What I'm planning on doing is epoxying. We'll leave all these on here to support this piece, because this piece is fine. Because we'll let her finish her configuration at home, but I want to assemble. This kind of goes together pretty tight here. So I want to make sure I get this put together tight, and I want to epoxy the rods in here and in here, so that becomes permanent. And then she can play around with the ends all she wants, slide these back and forth, do different things with the, you know, tops. Tell us if she needs more stuff printed, because there's a lot of accessories that just snap on place. There's a watch charging station that you can print out, a phone charging station you can print out. There's more shelves you could print out. It's a well thought out project, honestly. And the other thing is it's very modular in its design. You can make a big U shape out of it. They've got angles that are, you know, 45, 60, 90 degree angles, 30 degree angles, depending on what your desk configuration is and how you want it. So this piece here, I want to knock this apart, because these parts are all fine except for this part here. The base turned out fine. Then it's even got little detents here to put rubber feet. We bought a package of rubber feet that you can stick in here, so when it's on the desk, it sticks. All right, now let's see if I can knock this apart. We got the rubber beater here. It's got this nice T-slot type situation here that actually works pretty well. Can't complain too hard about that. Plastic is very static, clingy. Fits together very tight, very tight. Things like that. Seems like that should go in further. Helps if you put it on the right direction. Gotta be smarter than the stuff you're working on, Dennard. Come on. Okay, if this one's going this way, this one's going. Do I have the right one here? Yeah. Should be like that. There. Now that's not going to fall apart very easy, so I'm not worried about gluing any of that together. Now the big deal is going to be gluing those rods, all these rods over here into it. So we got the failed piece here, the other failed piece here. So right there is about 3/4 of a spool's worth of failures right there. All right, it's all looking like it's supposed to look, I think. I think I'm ready to mix some epoxy up. This is 5-minute epoxy, so I don't have a whole lot of working time. And I chose the clear epoxy because I don't want to be able to see it when I'm done. Got 5 minutes working time, which isn't a lot of time, so I could actually destroy one of these if I don't get it all seated in quite fast enough. Try to keep this angled in a position that the stuff doesn't run out. Ow, that was my foot. Oh, no. Can't be doing that, Michael. Okay, that's all pushed in there and supported. Wipe off some excess here. And we got it all set up on a nice flat surface there, so that's locking in good. It seems to have started locking that in pretty well. Next thing we'll have to lock in is all the ones on this end. Guess since that went so well, and I got a little bit of, looks like some working time here. I'll let those set up. Got more done than I expected. So far, so good. There you go. Fits together nice and tight. We're not going to glue this down yet because we don't know where she wants it. Okay. Now this is designed, like it shows in the picture, this is designed to have a monitor sitting back here. And your monitor legs can be under here. Your monitor is sitting up here whether you have a dual monitor or whatnot. It just gives you these extra little cubbies. You know, this can be a laptop thing, like I said, it can be here. You could glue it down here if you wanted. And it would still do all of its rotating things. He's got it designed so that it will go 360 across a flat surface. And he's got it designed, I think, in 20, 21, and basically 22 millimeter diameter rods, depending on what country you're in, what's available to you. So, all right, we'll let that glue set there before I wrestle with that side and run the risk of knocking some of this loose. We're back. I want to give you a quick tour of this thing. Here it is all glued together. Got your drawers here. Now these will come all the way out. This is actually, these hang here with these little clips. It's got these clips that I glued on top like I showed you. And then these clip in place, so you can take them in and out if you want. There again, this can actually float. You can place it wherever you want on here or along here. You can take this piece off. This is the dowel rods run, as you saw, clear out to here on both ends. Big drawer, another small drawer. See, these are the little clips that go on and clip in. Here again, you could have this, a shelf covering this up if you wanted. You can print different width shelves. You could cover this whole thing with a shelf if you want. And there's other shelves you can print that actually slide into all these little slots in here. There's little shelves and cubbies you could put in here as well. Just got done wiping everything down. It's getting kind of dirty down here. But that's the whole modular unit in a nutshell. Now, I've only glued the dowel pins into this end and this end here in the corners. This piece here, you can still pull off the end. Now, it's not going to go anywhere. It wobbles a little bit because this wobbles, and we don't have the rubber feet under it yet. But I'm leaving this ends in case my sister-in-law wants to swap some things around. She can pull these ends off. The dowels are permanently glued into this corner piece, both directions, so she can mess around with configurations. And then if she likes what she has and works with it for a while, she can just pull these ends off, put some epoxy in there, and make it permanent. We'll get you back over here to the table. This is the 0.8 nozzle here, running my parts. It's looking pretty good. It's got it's 306 layers of 333, so it's not far from being done. This is going to come up and make it into a radius, as you can see depicted by this right here. Now we're about at the same level, maybe even a little further along, it looks like. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, this is about the same far along as that one was in there, except this one curled, started destroying itself. That one at 110 on the bed. It's still at 90. Why didn't that stay? I want to take it up to 105. Hopefully that still holds. I didn't catch that. I changed it at the onset, and then that's why it's nicer to catch it at the slicer, because this thing will do first pass and then does things, and it rereads itself, and then it just does its thing. I got one more thing I want to show you guys after this print's done, and we'll wrap this video up, because I'm having problems with my EMS. And the problem I'm having with the two new ones that I bought, it's happened primarily with this one so far. It happened once on this one. I'm actually going to pull this down and swap it out with the Bosses, because this one works way more consistently. Way more better, yeah. Now, I've put in a ticket with Bambu because a fix-it ticket type thing with Bambu. I sent a thing in going, hey, mine's doing something that it shouldn't be doing. It's not working right. It has, between all four spools, has less than a spool's worth of time on it. I'm going to get you in here and show you something. In here, you got your drive motor right here where this feeds in. And then there's little sensors in here that when that filament hits there, it kicks. There's another motor under here that kicks in and goes through the tube that goes out. And this is spring loaded. I don't know if I can get to a shot of this, but that's spring loaded. And that's a really, really tight spring. Now what's been happening is my printer will take off and start printing, and then it tries to feed down through this little guy here and out the back. When it hits that back drive wheel, it's just like stops. It's not going. It's not going. It's not going. It's not going. And then if I push down on that wheel just a little bit, all of a sudden, boom, it'll take off. Oh, that little button, and relieve some of that spring pressure. It'll take off. It'll run the rest of the print. Problem is, if you're trying to do multicolored prints, that doesn't work for you, because you're going to have to do that every time. And if you got 4 spools in here, you're going to have to pick up each spool, or the middle 2 spools, one of them at least, to get your hand in there to push it so it feeds. Not ideal. Actually, pretty bad. That's the only failure point I've had with Bambu so far with their AMS. My first 2 that came with the machines, been working flawlessly. Not a problem. My HT up here, no problem. So I have a feeling, because this was the second batch, let's just say it was the batch after they ran out of stock, and I waited for them to come back in stock. I ordered 2 more. They're in. We bought them. And right now, this one's working, right? Just as it is. This one actually took off and did what it was supposed to do. Now the fix-it ticket, the ball's back in my court because they said, we need more information, because I was pretty descriptive in what I told them it was doing. And I even took that one completely apart. They actually come apart quite easily once you see where all the screws are. I took it all apart. There was nothing jammed up in there, no extra filament, no debris, nothing. It was clean, so I put it back together, did the same thing. So now I owe them a video on what is it doing and what's the alarm look like, so they can help me troubleshoot. I just have a feeling that little assembly back there where all the 4 tubes come in and the motor drive spring, I think the spring is just too stiff. I think if the spring was a little bit lighter, it doesn't have to be much, but a little bit lighter, it would take it in and be just fine. But anyway, I'm gonna see if I can get it to repeat itself. I'm gonna get it recorded here so I can send that section of video to them so they can actually see what's going on. Okay, what I'm trying to discover here is why this AMS here will not feed always. And so I've started a 4-color print that will print 2 colors from this AMS, 2 colors from this AMS. Now I have this spool currently removed out of this middle slot, and I'll show you possibly why I need to do that. See right there, this just stopped feeding. It's trying to feed and it's going thunk, thunk, thunk. And it does this little kicky thing here with this little lever. It doesn't like it. And it's because it's not feeding back here. I can hear it try to feed, but it's not feeding. It will eventually alarm out here, and I'll show you that alarm. Keeps trying to feed it, and it won't feed it. I'll show you what I have to do. See, it just alarmed out. Now this is flashing. It flashed for a second like that. It says, you know, unable to feed the filament. So I'll go finish and continue. And I'm going to push this little button back here. See, it's trying to go. I just take a little bit of that spring pressure off, push down by pushing down. Then it'll feed. This is all Bambu Labs material on Bambu Labs spools. And now it will purge in that color, the teal color, and do that teal layer. So far I've had to do that twice here. Now the orange one fed for some reason, and I've had it fail here, I've had it fail here, and I've had it fail here. There's no rhyme or reason as to why it fails. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to share them with me. Like I said, I've got a fix-it ticket out there with Bambu Labs as to what's going on. I'm gonna send them a little segment of this video and go, here's what's going on. Now you can see the video. Now you can help me troubleshoot. I honestly feel that spring is way too tight back there, because I have taken this completely apart back here. I went online on YouTube and I saw how these come apart. I took it completely apart, put it back together, and it performs exactly the same bad way. And this had never been apart before from when I got it. Now this one here has done the same thing to me. Not as often as this one has. This one does it just about every time. This one has done it occasionally, but when you're trying to do a long print, that doesn't help you at all. Now watch, here we go. Now it's switching. See, that one fed through just fine. You can tell once it gets down, because it's just got to feed down through here just to that back. Once it gets back past that back drive motor and gets into here, it's fine. It works just fine. Now it's going to purge the blue and go with orange. I don't have any explanation for it. But it's the only disappointment I've had with AMS so far. With Bambu Labs product, with the AMS2 Pro. But other than that, they've been working fine. Another little tidbit of information for you. How much does your Bambu Lab cost you to run it? Bet you didn't know this was coming in this video. Well, so I took my EcoFlow and I plugged it in to an outlet, and I've got my, right here, this cord here is feeding my H2C, which is currently printing right now. What are we running settings at? The settings are currently running at a bed temp of 110, right nozzles 270, and 65C on the environment. So I'm running a print here, as you can see what it is. And this is all ABS. This is the top line here is the input that's pulling off from the house, and this is the output that the machine's pulling. So you can see between 300 and 700 watts is what I see it bouncing between. So my electricity is about 15.7 cents an hour, or per kilowatt hour, and my calculations have shown me this costs about 12.7 cents an hour to run this machine. In case you were wondering about cost to run one of these, about 12.7 cents an hour. So if you got a 10-hour print, it's $1.20. And let's see here. The other thing, when it sits idle, I was looking at my card, my notes I took. When it's sitting idle, it's drawing also some wattage, about 30, which costs you about 14. What happened? Oh, surprise, surprise. It didn't feed again. Look at here. See? I'll do the same thing again. I'll say finish and continue. When it tries to feed again, I'll just, boom. I just press down on that a little bit, and she takes off. Yep, that's right. I don't know. But yeah, I think what I calculate, about 14 cents a month, roughly, for this thing just to sit with power on and idling. Well, folks, I hope you found this episode informative and helpful. I'm showing you what we did with 0.2 to 0.8 nozzle diameters and what the capabilities are and why you might want to use it. Like a 0.2 nozzle, for instance, if you do these little tiny figurines, might be a really awesome thing to use or to have or to run. So you get that real fine detail. When you're running bigger parts and you don't need the detail, run the bigger nozzle, get done a little quicker, might reduce your cost. Just to give you an example, that one table I printed, when I sliced the one table the one way, it took me 22 hours. With a 0.4 nozzle, when I used a 0.8 nozzle, it took a little over 8 hours. Saves you about 12.7 cents an hour in my neighborhood. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. And stay tuned. We got some more stuff coming up when it comes to printing, outdoor work, shop work. We have an endless variety of things. What glasses do I have on? These are my computer glasses. I was wondering why things were looking fuzzy at a distance. All right, folks. Thanks for joining the video. We'll see you on the next one if I'm lucky. This is Michael saying if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And hopefully we'll figure out what's broke over here and we can fix it till it is broke again. Yeah. All right. I'm out.